Video blog.
Hey guys, this is Tim from Twice Circled, and welcome to episode 33 of the official Megaquarium video blog. And what a Megaquarium I have to show you today. I think this is one of the biggest ones I've shown you, actually, maybe even bigger than the one I did for the full game playthrough. So I put this one together in order to show to test the guest needs, because I've put the third and final guest need into the game now. I think it's the final one. It's all of the ones I've currently got planned, which is bladder, so toilets. So after you've pumped up your guests with lots of fizzy drinks, eventually they'll need to go to the toilet, and just like with the others, hunger and thirst, if you don't... Oh, and energy, of course. So yeah, there's four guest needs. If you don't take care of it, then eventually they'll go home. And here we can actually see someone using the toilet. Excuse the fact that they just walk directly past walk directly through the doors. Is someone else going in? We can look at them overhead. Currently they just go in and stand there in front of the toilet, because we haven't got the animations yet. And just to warn you guys, I might be changing the style of these toilets so they look more like porta potties, kind of covered at the top, rather than these ones which are kind of your more kind of traditional cubicle. There's a number of reasons for that, but I won't go into them now. So enjoy it while you can. The rather kind of al fresco yeah, urination experience. God, these days go really, really quick when you're talking. You might be able to tell I'm not taking the best care of this aquarium. Like I say, I made this one to test the guest needs, and I had to build an aquarium that was big enough so that the guests were leaving. I had to give them enough time to develop the guest needs, all the way up to bladder, which I think is the one that takes longest. It might actually be hunger is the one that takes the longest to develop, because if you don't have a big enough aquarium, then they'll just leave because they've seen everything. But I didn't actually bother to take care of all of the animals, so that's why we're getting so much of those so many events at the end of it. So yeah, one thing to mention with these, something I've probably mentioned before, but all of these guest needs things, they're not just, fire and forget. You will also have to look after them. Now currently it's not in the game, but for example, these vending machines will occasionally break down and they'll need to be fixed by maintenance staff, and these toilets will need to be cleaned. Those extra tasks haven't been added to the game yet, but they will be. So it isn't just as simple as adding as many of these as possible. I think something I didn't show before, but I can show now, is this is very like placeholder, but the idea here is you have a bit of a UI for setting the price of the different things, so we can set different prices for things that we're selling from all of our different food and drink providers, and this will lay the groundwork for the gift shop as well. But again, that's not in yet. I think to start with, what I wanted to is I wanted to get this basic thing of like the guests walking up to the machines or the facilities. That's what I'm calling them, isn't that? And those, solving their needs and just kind of seeing how it feels, and seeing how it affects like the pathfinding and the layout of the aquarium. That was the main thing I wanted to test at this point of development. Something else to show you guys. This is what happens if you... some people were asking last week about what happens if you block the exit to your aquarium. Now I have a couple of solutions to this issue, but this is one of them, which is that if guests get too unhappy, so if they get too bored essentially, or they can't find the exit because you've blocked it or made it really, really difficult for people to leave, then they'll get this eventually, which will have a detrimental effect on your guest rating. So that's one of the balances that I've got. I think one of the other suggestions people had, someone made last week, was to make it so people could leave through the entrance. And this is something that I've actually been thinking about. I'm actually leaning towards combining the entrance and exit squares into a single entity, so that people will just will both arrive and leave by the same squares. Which will stop you from kind of designing some special thing where all the guests get stuck in your aquarium. I mean, you can still lock them in your aquarium, but you'll get a negative guest rating. You can still lock them in a certain part of your aquarium, but you can't just like block off the exit. Otherwise, you won't get anybody entering the aquarium anymore. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to explain that. I mean, gosh, this is a very crowded aquarium. I don't know if we can do anything about this. I mean, there's so many needs that need taking care of here. It is really interesting. I do like what it does to the game. So these guys will get hit by the thirst. There's benches here. It's probably, yeah, it's probably about the right mix. It is really satisfying watching these people go up to the various facilities and then buy their thing, and then the little thing eventually fades away. It's really nice. So I'll just leave you watching this. So hopefully you're getting a bit of a sense of the timing of the different guest needs. So they get tired first, and then they develop thirst. I think then they'll need to go to the toilet, and then they start to get hungry. And so you do have to kind of develop your layout with that in mind. This particular one, because it's got a few kind of like twists and turns and stuff, and it's not that well designed, I'm finding all around here I'm just having like all sorts of needs I need to take care of. But I do think it's going to depend on your aquarium. Like for example, if people go here, they're going to waste a bit of time there, and then they're going to get tired a little earlier than if they don't go into this little nook. Whereas if you don't have little nooks like this, you'll get a bit more of a kind of homogeneous group. Oh, look at all these people leaving because they're hungry because I haven't got enough chocolate vending machines. You know what, I think I might sell one of these benches. And put a couple more chocolate vending machines here. I don't know why I'm taking this seriously, really. Oh, why isn't that working? There we go. Oh, and also, yeah, sorry, some people have probably been noticing, these new multi-size tanks, they are a little bit bigger, and they are causing a few little clipping issues. Now, I have a plan to how to fix that. It's just I haven't got hold of my artist yet to get it done. So yeah, I do see these little glitches. No need to point them out, but and they will be solved in the coming weeks. Oh yeah, that was it. So I think final thing I wanted to say about guest needs, because this is the last vlog on them, is that I don't want you guys to think that it's just going to end with vending machines and basic toilets and basic benches. These are just the proofs. So this is my proof of concept, basic facilities. But the idea is that each of them will have, you'll be able to unlock different versions for each of them. You know, so you'll be able to unlock, you know, the place that serves French fries or ice cream or something like that. But you'll also be able to unlock different types of benches. You know, like some of the comments that have been coming in have been really interesting, giving me all sorts of ideas. Like what if you had like a bench which was sat in front of a TV, and so you could watch the movie, gain some different like types of points, but then also gain some energy back as well. I think that would be really cool. And then, you know, you could have like fancy toilets which increase the happiness of your guests, and you know, the better the food, the increase of the happiness. So you can do all these things to keep your guests in your aquarium for longer. And yeah, that is about it for guest needs though. So what I'm working on at the moment is a new research system. So I'm completely renovating that. It's really exciting. I think it's I'm gonna rebalance it at the same time, so we won't have this issue where you're just building up massive pools of points. In fact, a little spoiler, in the new system it will be impossible to build up pools like this. I will explain all in due course. So that's probably what I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of vlogs. So for now, I think I'll say thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing a really busy, kind of manic Megaquarium with a lot of guests with absolutely insatiable desires to void their bladders. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.